Hello everyone, welcome back to Medical 360. By now, I'm very sure that you all must be aware of the investigation which is going on in the NEET 2026 paper leak scam. And yes, NTA has released a notification regarding this investigation and the police is already cooperating with NTA in this process. But NEET 2026 is not the first controversy which is associated with the NEET examination. A lot of controversies related to the NEET examination have been reported in the last 10 years, and in this video we are going to talk about all these news, events, frauds and scams which have been associated with the NEET examination. So in this video, we'll be talking about a data of 2015 to 2026. We'll be talking about the paper scams and the occurrence of RE-NEET over the evaluation and investigation. But before we begin, do not forget to subscribe to Medical 360 so that we can keep bringing such informative content for you. Also, keep posting your comments, queries and questions in the comments box so that we can pick up those queries and we can answer them one by one. Let's begin with the video. Here, I have a data of 2015 to 2026. The data is related with the examination that has occurred. The scam has been explained in brief and the conduction of RE-NEET, whether the RE-NEET was conducted or not. So in 2015, this exam was known as AIPMT, All India Pre-Medical Test, and it was the pre-NEET era before the introduction of NEET. The major controversy took place in this year only, and that is how NEET came into play, or that is how NEET was introduced all over the nation. If you see clearly what was the scam, so Bluetooth earpiece solver or network used to transmit the answers during the exams in Haryana confirmed by Supreme Court. Actually, during that time there was no strict dress code, and due to no strict dress code, the checking or the frisking was not that strict. So a lot of students in Haryana were found to carry the Bluetooth or the earpiece by which the answers were being dictated by different medical students or by different intellects to them so that they could bubble the correct answer. This was the first major controversy which came into play associated with the pre-medical test or the NEET exam. And after this only, NEET examination was introduced all over the nation in order to bring a uniformity in the medical test happening all over India. So after it was confirmed by Supreme Court that yes, certain things happened, certain malfunctioning was found to be occurring in the NEET examination, RE-NEET was taken, a re-exam was introduced, or re-exam was ordered by the Supreme Court so that a fairness could be introduced in the examination and every NEET aspirant could be given a fair chance to again participate in the examination. Next, if I talk about 2016, there were two phases, NEET phase 1 and NEET phase 2. For the first time, NEET examination was conducted into two phases, phase 1 and phase 2. And again, a lot of people were arrested from Varanasi and Uttarakhand area for selling the question paper for both the phases. In both the phases, whether it be phase 1 or phase 2, a lot of groups were involved which was selling the NEET question paper to the students at a higher price in order to gain their own benefit. And when this case was taken to the Supreme Court, when the investigation was done and when the case was taken into Supreme Court ordered that since there was no widespread breach, therefore no re-exam was taken. Next, in 2017, new UG exam was conducted, and again 5 people including 2 medical students were arrested in Patna for trying to leak the question paper 2 hours before the examination. Just 2 hours before the examination, 5 people were arrested because they were trying to leak the question paper. And again, as it is said, and again, when the case was taken to Supreme Court said that since there was no widespread breach, since there was no widespread malfunctioning, therefore no re-exam was taken. Next, if I talk about 2018 NEET UG examination was again conducted in the month of May. False accusations were raised of original paper being sold in Telangana, but no actual scam. Actually, this was just a false accusation, a rumor that the paper was being sold in Telangana, but this was not an actual scam when the investigation took place, and that is why no re-examination was conducted. So this is a series of events which have taken place from 2015 to 2018 during the conduction of NEET examination. Okay, you can already see that a lot of times malfunctionings have taken place. A lot of time carelessness of the NTA, that is National Testing Agency, has led to people selling the NEET question papers or spreading them into groups. Next, we have again the stories from 2019 to 2022. Over here, if you see 2019, 2020 and 2022, there was no scam found during the examination. But again, if I talk about 2021, NEET UG examination was conducted and 8 people were arrested for leaking the paper on WhatsApp in Jaipur. NTA termed it a localized case, not a widespread breach. Again, when the matter was taken to Supreme Court, since no widespread breach was found, since it was a localized matter, therefore no re-examination was taken. Supreme Court ordered re-examination in NEET 2015 because it was a widespread breach. A lot of people were affected because of the use of earpieces and Bluetooth, and that is why re-examination was made compulsory. Also, after that event, a strict dress code was introduced during the NEET examination. Next, if I talk about the stories of NEET examination from 2023 to 2026, again in 2023 there was no scam found, and again in 2025 there was no scam found. But if I talk about 2024, after NEET 2015 examination, the major controversy that broke out was found in the case of NEET 2024. You must have already read the news that a lot of students scored a perfect score of 720 during this year. The paper leak confirmed in limited locations like Patna and Hazaribagh. Supreme Court said that the leak was localized. 67 students scored a perfect score of 720. Actually, what happened was initially 67 people or 67 students were scoring 720 marks. But after the grace marking was removed, only 17 students were scoring a perfect 720 score. But still, since the paper leak was confirmed in the locations of Patna and Hazaribagh and also certain other parts of India, the matter was taken to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court again later declared that there was no widespread leak and no re-exam was conducted. So the results were revised, but there was no re-exam taken during this year. But this was also one of the major controversies related to NEET examination after NEET 2015. और अब बात करते हैं हम 2026 की, जो कि अभी हमारा करंट एग्जाम हुआ था 3 मई 2026 को. इसके एक ही हफ्ते बाद न्यूज़ आती है कि राजस्थान के एसओजी टीम ने इन्वेस्टिगेट किया है कि राजस्थान के कुछ रीजन्स लाइक सिकर एंड झुंझुनू में गेस्ट पेपर्स were found in which almost 140 questions were similar to the NEET examination official paper. The NEET examination paper contains 180 questions, and if 140 questions were common, so that means that there was a recklessness involved in this examination. Now the question rises on NTA that how can this carelessness be repeated, or how can these events be repeated year after year? How are people so strict or so firm in selling the papers, in leaking the papers, and spreading them on social media like WhatsApp groups and Telegram channels? How is this thing, or how is the scam taking place every year and no legal action is taken on such people? Investigation is currently in process, and if the investigation further continues to the Supreme Court might order a re-examination depending upon the seriousness of the matter. Again, seeing the pattern, you can clearly say that if it is a widespread breach, certainly a re-examination will take place. But if it is not a widespread breach, of the regulations of NEET examination, then in that case re-examination will not occur. So now the decision lies over the investigation and the Supreme Court order whether what is decided in the fate of NEET 2026 examination. But the question is that students and aspirants prepare every year, work hard over the syllabus for almost an year, but a single leak of paper, a single scam just destroys their future, just destroys or spills water over their hard work. So in this case, if the students are preparing so well, it is the responsibility of NTA to take every small matter related to the examination, whether it be a rumor or whether it be actual accusation, very seriously. If NTA has built up a system of taking examination, it is its duty to make the rules so strict, to make the checking so strict, to make the monitoring first class, so that students shall not have to repeat or shall not have to go through such tedious procedure of examination. For more such updates, subscribe to Medical360 so that we can keep you updated about every news related to the NEET examination and other medical fields. Thank you for watching this.